is monster romance, but these are monsters, like monstrous faces, not like human. What up, Search fam? Sharde here. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, my name is Sharde. I'm out here curating and co-creating a cool ass life, which includes my bookish things. So whether you are new or you keep coming back to my little corner of the internet, why you ain't part of the internet fam? In the club, we all family. So whether you keep coming back or this is your first time, you just like the vibes, go on and hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and keep up with every time I post. Now, it's the 1st of February, so that means we are here talking about the books I read for January. Now, historically, let's say the last 2 years that I've been tracking on Storygraph, that's what I mean by historically, I have read a lot of books in January. But if you watched my goals for 2025 as far as reading goes, which I'll put in a card up here, I said I wanted to read less books because I wanted to give myself chance to read longer books and more sort of intellectually rigorous books. So maybe not going through books as quickly or whatever. So this month I read 13 books, which I mean is still a lot, but like my Januaries for the past 2 years were like in the 20s. I don't know how I did that, if we're being quite honest, but here we are. So y'all know how this goes. I'm going to start with the physical books, and then I got the iPad right here for my digital and audiobooks, and we're just going to get on into it. So first I read Desire's Curse by Marrow Wood, or Marrica Wood. And this is a book my mom got me for Christmas. Is like a blind date with a dark romance, which is super cute. This is about a woman who's trying to get back into dating, and she does online dating, ends up seeing this guy. He is batshit, so he starts stalking her and things like that. And her brother's best friend, who she's had feelings for, is around, and he's like, not on my watch. And it's about them navigating that. Now, I didn't quite like this one. I think it was the writing, like premise fine, but the writing I just wasn't quite into. Like it just didn't grab me like I would have liked to. So I wouldn't encourage picking that one up. For my manga, I started watching an anime called A Condition Called Love. Come to find out, I had bought on a whim the first volume of the manga for the anime, and the manga is so cute. Oh, so adorable. So I read the first installment of A Condition Called Love. Now, I don't know if I'll keep buying the manga, but it's so cute. It's about these two teenagers, Hotaru and Hananoi. Hananoi gets broken up with in a very public way, and Hotaru's there with her bestie, and she sees it, and he's outside in the rain doing the sad boy thing, and she like puts her umbrella over him and is like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh, I like you so much." He's like total like German Shepherd, like really into her, but hates everybody else. But so he asks her to be his girlfriend, and she's like, "I've never been in love. I've never dated anybody. So like, let's try it on a trial basis." It's so cute. It's very darling. So that was a good time. I also read in a physical copy, One of Our Kind. I just finished this one by Nicola Yoon. And I love Nicola Yoon for her YA. Like her YAs be having me in tears. So she wrote The Sun Is Also a Star, Everything, which both have been turned into movies. Lessons for Dancing, or I think that's what it's called. But that one had me in tears. So this is an adult novel, and it's a thriller. And it talks about race and identity in particular ways, and it's definitely a cultural critique of a lot of things. I don't want to ruin it because the plot twist in it, I was like, girl, and slightly like, I wasn't expecting that, but I knew something was up. So I actually really like this. This was a page turner. Like I was in it from the first couple of pages because she's just an excellent writer. I also read We Refuse, and it's a history of resistance and such and whatnot. I read that as a physical book. Fantastic historical text about different ways in which Black folks have resisted over centuries in the United States. But it's also abroad. So it talks about Haitian Revolution and things like that. But it also talks about resistance in terms of thematic. So like resistance, flight, joy, things like that, which I thought was a really interesting way of organizing the chapters. So I really enjoyed reading that. And I'm actually probably going to go back to it at some point. I was reading that one for my morning devotional, and it was super good. Lastly, this one I read as an audiobook, but also I finished it as a physical book because I was eating it up. And that's Keeper of the Night by Kylie Baker. And this one I've had on my shelf for a while, so I got the audiobook. I'm finding that if I'm having trouble getting into it as a read book, I'll try the audiobook, and usually that helps me to do the things. So this is about Rayne, who is half Shinigami, half Grim Reaper that lives in London. She's discriminated against. They don't like her. And so she runs away to Japan with her brother Nevin, and who is a Reaper, full Reaper, her half brother, to try to find her mama, who is a Shinigami. And like she ends up under the working for the Empress of Death to try to get access to her mama. Child, the twists and turns in that one. That was a ride. And Rayne got on my nerves a little bit because she was a little narrow. That's like narrow narrow sighted. And sometimes that annoyed me, especially in terms of like how she treated her brother Nevin. Like, you just don't understand because you ain't never been discriminated against. But he literally dropped everything to follow you, to try to help keep you safe because he loved you. And also he does know what it's like to be discriminated against because everybody think he weak. And he ain't got a strong constitution for being a Reaper. And so, yeah, it was a good book. But also she got on my damn nerves. All right. So I also I also read as a physical book, and I don't know where the book is. It might be on my bookshelf. Jewel Me Twice. And I have been waiting and wanting to read this one. I also annotated it. It was so good. Cherish Reid, she knows how to write a book, baby. And because she also wrote Mickey Chambers. I forget the rest of the title. So Celeste and Magnus, who are part of a international thief team led by like this elder black woman, and they are former lovers, but they're also like both PhDs, one in like art history and the other, I think he's in, I don't know, remember what his area is. So it might be art history as well. But they fell out. They had a job gone wrong and blew up the whole heist group. And so their mentor dies and sends them all, everybody in the group, these messages to send them on like one last heist to get things together, to settle her last wishes. And like, it was so good. And the banter, also the way Magnus talks to Celeste. Yes. This one is interracial romance, but it's also, I love the fact that they're both in their 40s and like settled and all the things, but it also deals with like what it means to be in relationship, trust, grief, found family, all things. I loved it. Loved it. Pick it up. Just read it. I also listened to Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maehrer, and this is the sequel to Assistant to the Villain, and it was hilarious. It was a great time. If you don't know, the Apprentice to the Villain series, or the Assistant to the Villain series, was based off of like a TikTok bit that got picked up as a to be published as a novel. And it's so funny. It's fantasy. It's like adventure fantasy, but relatively low stakes. There's romance in it. So we find out what happens when, I think her name is Eve, is trying to get the villain back. The king is off the rails. There's dragons involved. Like, if you haven't read Assistant to the Villain, read that one first, but because you do need to read these in order, because we know I'm chaotic. But Apprentice to the Villain was a really good sequel. I was very happy with it. Another audiobook that I read was The Message by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was absolutely fantastic. There were parts in which I was crying as he narrates and thinks through education, Black identity, as well as like issues in Palestine. Like, he talks at length about that. And I just, it was so thought provoking. Like, I kept saying that I think I might need to get a physical copy of this one so that I can like underline and make notes and things like that. But I just enjoyed that as a read so much. It was so thought provoking. I also listened to The Marrow, Thieves by Cherie, Dimaline, and I had been meaning to. This one, it was another one that was like, I had a digital copy on my bookshelf, but I had been having some challenges getting into reading it. And so this is Indigenous author. And y'all know in my goals, I said I wanted to read more books by Indigenous authors. So that's what I am doing. And this one is about Indigenous persons, particularly in Canada, who in a dystopian future, they're on the run from being hunted to be harvested for their bone marrow, because Indigenous folks are the only ones that can dream. And we follow this kid, his name is Francis. I forget what they call him. I think they call him like Finch or something. French. They call him French. Oh, God. But so French found family as they're trying to navigate going north. He's lost his brother and his mom. He thinks, and he presumably his dad, and just like, you get the stories of everybody that is in the party that he's joined after his brother gets stolen, saving him, and them trying to go north. There were just moments I was crying. The end had me in tears. It was so good. And it's not that long. I think it was like under 200 pages, but it was very good. So I would definitely suggest reading that one. Digital books that I did this month. I did one for the team by Aria, Daze, who I got this on a recommendation in like a Facebook group on Reverse Harem that I'm in, because y'all know Reverse Harem is my jam. And so this one it's a sports romance, hockey. It's this chick that is the team mascot, like is the mascot in the costume for this hockey team. And she wants to get a choo-choo run on her. She tells her friends, and she's attracted to these three star players on this hockey team, and they're attracted to her too. And child, they get in there and they do the things. And so this was a novella. It was all right. It was all right. Not my pace of romance, but I get why people would like it. The men were fine. There was sword crossing. Like, it was great. It was a good time. I also listened to the Anaconda Downstairs, which is the Cocky Kingman book number 4. And this one is Everett. I was waiting for Everett. It was very cute. And Penn, who's the like publicist or assistant to the main character from the second Cocky Kingman book. And so it's the same tropes, but it was a good time. And I'm gonna keep reading them because they're just like fluffy. You get through them quickly. The voice actors are pretty good. So that was great. Another digital book that I did was Soul to Keep, Dust to Walker Rides 1. Baby Orpheus, get that baby everything he deserves. So if you haven't read Dust Walker Brides, this is monster romance, but these are monsters, like monstrous faces, not like human. Like, they have some human parts, but yes. So these are demons. This chick, the main character, is thought to be like harbinger of death because she did not get attacked by demons when her family got attacked by demons and slaughtered. And so they give her to the Dustwalker, which are these demons that can walk in the daytime, and to ensure that demons like won't get to them for another 10 years or whatever. And baby, she pissed, rightfully so. But she like comes to, so it's kind of, unwanted, like I won't like prisoner, not even prisoner, because Orpheus is a sweetheart, and just wants a companion that love him for real. And then the plot twist in that one, the intrigue, I was like, oh, okay, and beat her ass. So it was a good time. It was long. It was quite long. It's like 542 pages, but it was actually really good. Will I continue series? I'm not sure. If you like monster romance and you don't mind non-human actual monsters, then pick it up. But if that's not your vibe and you need some humanness to it, I would say don't pick it up. I read this one on audiobook. Voyage of the Damned by Frances White was so good. I haven't gotten over it. I finished it last night. And it was so good because it was long. It was like 15 hours. And it was just hijinks, adventures, murder mystery. Very, it's marketed as being like for fans of Agatha Christie, and I get it. So it's a fantasy about this heir to a province, and like it's 12 provinces, but he does not have Ganymedes does not have a blessing. Like his father is lying to everybody because he can't keep it in his pants and he don't know who his heir is. And he's only supposed to have one heir, and there's just a lot of things. So Ganymedes is having to go on this required pilgrimage on a boat, and he don't want to because he's like, they're gonna find out that I don't belong here and I don't want this job no way, because I'm just gonna be lying for the rest of my life. And so he's on this trip, and so it's his little boo thing from another province, and he's like, his boo thing is trying to get in where he fit in now that like his province produces this mineral or this jewel that helps to keep everything safe, like all things. And so I liked it because the plot twists were fantastic. There's such a diverse cast of characters, and it was, for me, the audiobook narrator did all the voices, 12 like distinct voices. That was fantastic. And so, yeah, this is a definite pickup. Like I'm gonna have to get a hard copy. So I very much enjoyed that. Oh, it was so good. I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, friends, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend about the channel. Tell me what you read downstairs in the comment section, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.